Did teenagers go further than just kissing in cars in the 50s and 60s? 1. Back in the 60s, girls could wear drive-in pants. They were slacks that had a zipper starting on one leg cuff all the way up and back down to the other leg cuff. Unzip it and the lower body was totally exposed. I went many times taking a date to the drive-in, but I figured if I had to pay good money to get in, by darn we were going to watch the movie. Later I can imagine when I left the girl at her home and she went inside, the mother would ask, "Where did you kids go tonight?" The girl would answer, "Mom, we went to the drive-in." And Mom, "You know what? We actually watched the movie." Mom answering, "There must be something wrong with that boy, you might want to stay away from him." 2. I remember when I was a young teenager in the early 70s and a local drive-in restaurant was closing down. Apparently this drive-in was a really big deal in the 50s and 60s, but the era of the drive-in was done. They were having one last big celebration for their final weekend. They invited all of their former patrons to come back for one last day of 50s rock and roll and 1955 menu prices. So the radio station I listened to was broadcasting live from the drive-in, interviewing patrons. A lot of them, of course, were people my parents' age who reminisced about going there as teenagers. Then the announcer found a girl about my age, a young teen, and asked her what she was doing there. Well, for me, this is the place I was conceived. Say what? My mom always told me I was conceived in the back seat of a Chevy Bel Air at the Scotchman Drive-In, and I wanted to come and see it before it closed down. So yes, I think there was a little more going on than just kissing. My best friend's mom told me that in her family, the first baby can come any time after marriage, but the rest take 9 months. 3. I was a teenager in the middle of the 50s, and I can assure you, anything that is done in the back seat of a Chevy today was done then as well, except that they had more room back then, seats were larger. Except to that would be some of the newer designer drugs available more recently. Plus it became a little more easy in 1960 when the new birth control pill came out, which literally fueled the wife-swapping parties in the 60s. In the 50s, Bobby Darin had a cute song that had in it multiplication, that's the name of the game. In each generation they play it the same. He was so true, but that does not mean everyone did, any more than everyone does now. Believe it or not, the last poll I was able to make with my freshman male and female students in my class of health and sex education, 150 kids, and that was 20 years ago, when asked completely anonymously on a blank ballot, how many of those freshmen were or have been sexually active, it was a 90% no. And that was in the Bay Area, next door to Oakland, California. That certainly is not what the media wants us to believe for some reason. Being from the 50s, I can tell you that my wife and I were both virgins when we married at the age of 19. And in September we celebrate our 61st wedding anniversary. I shared that with all of my students. I hope some of them have chosen to do the same thing.